Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Sunday night live here, and we're on, YouTube. We're on YouTube. That's right. We got 2 YouTube channels. If you're going to do a super chat donation up there, you've got to be on the YouTube channel with 5,100 subscribers, whatever it is. The YouTube channel with 79,000 subscribers. Let's call it 80. Fuck it. That one is not monetized. YouTube is refusing to allow us to do super chats over there, but you guys have been great. We've got Venmo, CashApp, PayPal. They're down in the video description. You can donate there. And what does the donation do? Well, it keeps the lights on in the prepared bunker. It does that. What else does it do? It pays for subscriptions. That's right. News subscriptions, feeds, our platform, and then we've got our servers. Holy crap, folks. We try and do a good job because we also have the preparedmind.club. That's right, our own website, and we're on subscribestar.com. Your premium memberships there are guerrilla funding for the fight against, the New World Order, the World Economic Forum, evil countries that want us all dead. The religions that want us all dead. Let's see, it funds us to fight all of that. Evil, and evil. Because we are Americans, and if you're from another country, you love freedom, you love liberty, and you love, the American spirit, which says, you know what, I ain't taking your shit anymore. And we're getting a lot of shit. And we're watching England and the Netherlands and Australia and Canada. We're watching the entire world get fed heapfuls of crap. And I know we're all tired of it and we're all fighting against it. And that's what this show is about, is us talking about what is going on, how we should be thinking about it with respect to, ourselves, our family, our culture and traditions, as well as, our friends and everyone around us in our country, and how can we fix it? Well, number 1 in my book is get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and, of course, whatever means of self-defense you can get your paws on. After that is waking up your family, your coworkers, your friends, and letting everyone know it's okay to think for yourself, and it's okay to criticize your enemies. And it's interesting, you know who your enemies are when they are people you are not allowed to criticize. Well, I think that's been basically part of the American dialogue from the very beginning. What we said back then was to the king and to anyone trying to tell us what to do. God bless you all. This is the Prepared Mind channel. Super chat button right up there. $50 or more. Well, $50 super chat. Well, it puts spam and tuna fish in the pantry back in the other room, and then it also buys scotch. So $50 super chat does an 18-year scotch, and $100 or more, that does a Maestry's bourbon whiskey. Now, across the state over on the west coast somewhere of Florida is Maestry's, and they've got some interesting beverages there. In any event, since last week, you can see that a lot of it's disappeared. But I'm going to start out the show with this because Darcy T has provided us with a generous super chat donation via PayPal. And I want to say a very special thank you to Darcy, who is here every week supporting the channel, supporting freedom, supporting liberty, supporting the United States of America, and all of those who love us. We love them. Here we go. And we're going to start the show with this, Darcy. About right now, it starts burning. Woo! So, Darcy basically told me today, well wishes, get better, etc. But I've got, I'm not just going to take a well wish. I'm taking it. Thank you, Darcy. But I've got a little content for you. I've got some COVID and Jim Jones juice news. In other words, bullshit bioweapon and the mRNA bioweapon shot. I got a flashback for you all. There was an a-hole reporter who wanted and called for concentration camps for unvaccinated Americans. We heard this from a lot of places, but this particular a-hole of a reporter is now dead. Not from me, not from you, not from anyone, from his own stupid actions. That's right, age 33. Not 93 or 73, not even 53, 33, dead. So I wanted to share with you a little bit of John philosophy, some John wisdom. The evil of fools knows no limits. But if their will is limited to just themselves and applied to themselves, we see the value of their beliefs. And today we learn and see the value of this jackass's belief is he's dead at age 33. I hope that those vaccines he took, right, make him feel good. Now, Darcy T is, with me, very popular for her news she sends me through private back channels with respect to people dying or being injured because of the Jim Jones juice. And that is becoming a bigger rallying cry for freedom and liberty around the world. Over in Europe, at the World Economic Forum, Bill Gates, in his automobile, as he was being driven to the World Economic Forum, How to Screw the World Over meeting, he was hounded and was actually, surrounded and to a degree threatened by the presence of many pissed off people calling for his arrest and more. Now, Bill Gates and then the CEO of Pfizer, Bill Gates and the CEO of Pfizer Pharmaceutical inject the shit out of you with toxic DNA poison. A Dutch court has said, you guys, both those two guys, both of them will show up. Both of them will be forced to testify or whatever it is they do in the Netherlands, right? Whether they put up a defense, say anything, I don't know. I don't know European law the way I know American common law and American jurisprudence. Having said that, it's a court, and they're going to have to answer. Now, will Bill Gates decide not to go? Here's my thought. Bill Gates shows up. Bill Gates testifies or does whatever he's supposed to. He admits to a degree to all his lies and bullshit. And in the end, nothing happens to him because he's Bill Gates. That's my thought on this. This isn't the World Court, folks. This isn't the Hague. This isn't the International Court of Justice or the ICC or whatever the hell that's called, International Criminal Court, which is up in Europe and has said that Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. No, this is a Dutch court. I don't know if it's civil or criminal, but they're both being required to be there. It's not the International Criminal Court. But those two guys are, in my opinion, international criminals for what they've done. So let's hope, let's pray, let's work together, let's support any efforts to catch these evil bastards and lock their sorry asses up. All right, thank you, Darcy T, very much for the great support. And then we've got Chin Music, another weekly massive supporter of the channel, like many others of you as well. And we'll get to your names because I'm sure you're going to pop up here on the screen. Chin Music has done his $52.43 super chat donation. And, 50 is the magic number to do one of these. And then he put the 243 on. And for those of you who don't know, 243 is a very hot, high performance rifle round, very flat shooting, excellent ballistic coefficient, and it's a civilian round. It's not the 308. It's not the 223, or should I say 556 and 762. In any event, here's to you, brother. Chin Music. We're going to get to your rant here. Wow, you can just mother's milk. Woo! All right, Mr. Uman, are we going to put Chin Music up on the screen? I don't know how we're doing that. Or I think I got it over here in a message. Let's see, where did I put that thing? There it is. There it is. It's in the special super secret message between me, you, and Chin Music. He says, how long before the no spino rhinos, meaning Republicans that are weak in the knee, which is everyone except Representative Tim Burchett and Representative Tom Massey. I don't know of any other congressmen that are hardcore America first, Constitution first, Declaration of Independence first, law and order, truth and justice, American way congressmen. I think the rest of them fucking sold us out. Anyways, Chin Music says, how long before the no spino rhinos start caving to pressure on Minnesota? Not knowing the pressure is the whole point. Well, before I get to the rest of your rant, I'm going to tell you how long before the rhinos start caving. They've already started. They've already started. There are already rhino Republicans in Congress stepping in front of microphones and telling the world that they need to defund the Department of Homeland Security and stop getting these alien invaders, these fucking pedophiles, rapists, murderers, fraudsters, thieves, criminals, liars out of the country. Republicans are already caving. You, me, folks, and I'm talking now not just to Chin Music, but all of us. Write, call, text, message, every stinking representative at the state level, the governor's office, at the federal, meaning Congress, Senate, and president's office. They all need to hear from us. We don't want just the bad guys out. We want them all out. We don't want just the Somalis out. I want all of them out. But all of these foreigners everywhere. I don't want an arrest here and arrest there. I don't want some exciting footage of some jackass getting tackled and cuffed and chunked in the back of a fucking van and put on an airplane. I want them out by the millions. That's just me. Anyways, let's get back to Chin Music's comments, shall we? He said, we didn't protest Gay Barry when he used immigration enforcement as a means to boost Hillary in the election. Oh, that's right. For those of you who didn't know, yeah, Barack Hussein, Barry Soetoro Obama, the queer in chief at the time, Hillary Clinton. Hell, let's keep going down the list. Nancy Pelosi. Let's keep going down the list. Up Chuck Schumer. They all, Hillary, Bill Clinton, they all wanted the illegals gone until they realized if they bring them in, use motor voter and automatic registration, register them as Democrats and let them know, here's your free money, here's your free housing, here's your free clothes, here's your free car, here's your job. You don't have to go to it. You'll get money. Everything's for free if you vote Democrat. If not, whoosh. So yeah, Barack Hussein evicted, ejected, tossed these illegals way better than Trump has done. Way better. Same with O'Biden. O'Biden did a great job of throwing them out. Better than Trump. Even though we're all screaming, get these fuckers out of here. And they're like, we need to leave them in here. They still managed to get more out in the last 4 years than Trump has been able to get out on an annual basis, if you can believe that. Anyways, Gay Barry. That's a good way to put it, Chin Music. Let's continue with Chin Music. He says, we knew he wasn't genuine, but we supported the effort because it was the right thing to do. The fuck Joe Biden opened the door while he was licking kids and sniffing ice cream, and Cackles, meaning Hillary, Cackles, the border czar, was pondering the significance of the passage of time. Now they want to use the crisis they created to create another crisis to hide the crisis of Democrat fraud in Minnesota. If Republicans back down from this, there is no reason to ever vote for them again. Well, Chin, unless you know, and I mean us as individuals in individual Republican voting districts, unless you know for a fact your representative, your incumbent Republican, is America first and wants to get these illegal fuckers out, don't vote for him. Now, of course, who do you vote for? I'm talking about the primaries. The primaries, which is Republican versus Republican. You need to demand your candidate says he'll do it, and it will not change his mind. The nice thing about our individual representatives, at least in a more populated state, is their offices are close enough you can drive to them. If you live in a state like, I don't know, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, and you live far from the cities, yeah, you may have a 3, 4, 5, 6 hour drive to get to your representative's office to give them an earful of the shit that they deserve and have earned. Right? This is where we're at. Republicans suck unless they say they're pro-America first and unless they vote pro-America first. But we are now at this place in history. This place in history where both parties are a uniparty, where they're both wings of a dirty bird. The left wing, the right wing, they're the same fucking bird. They both stink. They're selling us out. They're shitting on us. Now, look, my state of Florida is absolutely a fucking mess. As much as I love it, Florida, and I love the culture where I'm at, but the political culture is shambles. Byron Donalds, Republican congressional member, by the way, I discovered is a convicted felon. But he's a Republican. He's trying to run for governor as a convicted felon who has a terrible record of voting at all. Not just a yes or a no, but where the fuck were you? You didn't even vote, Byron. You can find me, Byron. Talk to me. Convince me otherwise. He's allegedly being investigated over his school, daycare, something like that down here in the great state of Florida. What the hell's going on with that? Fraud, maybe? It's alleged, but we'll find out. He's taken money from, I believe, China and other dubious places into his campaign. Hey, if you can't run a clean campaign, America first, fuck you, you're out. And the other guy, I guess who's the lieutenant governor, I'm not too sure about that bastard, but we got this guy named James Fishback, who is openly America first, America only, Florida first, Florida only. He wants to cut the ties, sever the ties between Florida and Israel. I'm all for that. Florida politics is going to get incredibly interesting. Incredibly interesting. I know that DeSantis, who wants to be the next American president in 2028, decided to, well, go over to the Wailing Wall and rack his head on the wall to make sure he's got Israeli support. I do not support that at all. Not a good move for America. Not a good move for DeSantis. Very upsetting, but hey, it's the world we live in. It truly is. Anyways, I want to thank all of you guys. We've got one heck of a show coming up. We're going to be here till 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There we go. Got everything cleared off. Your questions are going to be upcoming. I got a slew of stuff to talk about that is shit hitting the fan related. That is New World Order, World Economic Forum, Bilderberg, Davos, Switzerland, CIA, Mossad written all over it. Everything that's going on. There is threats, folks. There are threats everywhere. Everywhere. For all Republicans, whether you're hardcore America first or even those limp-wristed fucking Republicans that are just trying to be friends with everybody. Sorry, Rainbow Warriors. We want real Americans. Okay. These Democrats are pushing and pushing and pushing and threatening and slandering and libeling every fucking buddy. It's going to get nasty. We'll talk about it, but hey, this is Sunday. It's Sunday Night Live. It's your show. What do you guys want to talk about? Mr. Uman. I will switch over to the other here and go there. And there we are. Okay. I'm here, Mr. Uman. We got Blue Cord Devil is now a member for 7 months. I've never heard of a 7-month anniversary, but we love you, Blue Cord Devil. Thank you for all your great support every show as well. Every week, week in, week out, year after year, many of you people are here making sure this channel stays active. When YouTube kicked us off, you guys sent messages, emails, messages of support to YouTube telling them to turn the channel back on, and they did. Our voices matter. Use your voice, use your brain. Hey, use it or lose it. That's how that works. All right, Mr. Uman, what do we want to do for super chats? We've got coming out the gate, Big Dan the Man, pow, with a $2 super chat. He says, the Friday show I just got today in my YouTube. Okay, this is a fact. Prior to all of this censorship that really kicked off in 2020, we were dealing with censorship in 2018. Literally. It was the Comet Ping Pong Pizzagate bullshit. That started the censorship of social media. YouTube, Instagram. Back then it was Twitter and Facebook. They started it. 2020, with COVID, they really came down on us all. They cut funding, the LGBTQ pedophile stuff. If we even talked about it, you were cut off. That's why Patreon killed the channel. They said I was just bad John, for talking about these fruitcakes who were what? What did we discover? Yeah, they are grooming children for sex, teaching them about anal sex, gay sex. The teachers in class showing up with their fruity fucking hair, rainbow flags, and talking about their sex lives to children. So they've been shadow banning us. Big Dan the Man has been a supporter, a massive supporter of the Prepared Mind channel for years, just like Darcy, just like Chin Music, just like the rest of you, just like Chelsea and husband, just like Robin, just like everybody. I mean, we've got so many now. See, I did it. I can't do it. I can't do all the names. But here's the deal. Big Dan is a subscriber and supports, and he didn't until today get a message from YouTube about a video that was done Friday. In other words, they're not telling all of you about the shows. They're not telling anyone. Like I don't come up in search strings unless they know that you're a subscriber, and then you get them from time to time. It's bullshit. They're trying to destroy us and silence us. My words to you is, if you want to comment in the comment section, you've got to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. Right? I want you to hit the thumbs up. That helps push YouTube. Internet address right up there. Share that right now with friends, family, your other friends, your other family, co-workers, everyone. Share it. Share the internet address, because that is what does it. We went to 70,000 people on YouTube on the original Prepared Mind channel, which is now active again thanks to you guys. See this award up here on the wall? They denied that to me by killing the channel. So I made one for myself. They turned it off for 1 month, folks. For 1 fucking month. 2 years ago, 1 month, YouTube turned off the brakes. They quit shadow banning the channel. And in 1 month, we got 10,000 new subscribers. In 1 month, we went from 70 to 80,000. And then they killed it again. And we've sat there just above or just below 80,000 subscribers. They killed that channel, so we started a new channel. We're now up to 5,000, 100 subscribers. So that's why we have 2 YouTube channels that we simulcast on, thanks to modern technology. And we're also on the preparedmind.club. Your no frills, no nonsense direct link. You can be a premium Guerrilla Funder there, subscribe star. We've also got BitChute and Rumble. I believe we feed off to those if we can. YouTube's tried stopping that. X has killed me. They permanently suspended me, and then they lifted the permanent and keep me suspended. But they want their $11, and I don't get any fucking benefit. I can't post. I can't use Grok, the AI search engine. I'm gonna give them one more month, and then we're gonna just cancel them again. Fuck them. What's the point? In other words. All right, folks. It is your show at Sunday Night Live. We're half an hour into it. We're gonna go for 2 hours. I'm back, and we got Jim for the California win. He says, watching you since the trailer in Northern California days. I tell people it's not a trailer, man. It's a fifth wheel. There's just more dignity in a fifth wheel. Anyways, Big Jim. He says, is that 8 years? I still have my 45. 45, eh? Shit, my Spanish has failed me. Okay, anyways, thank you, Big Jim. Yeah, listen, I was in the trailer, the fifth wheel, for 5 years, right? I filed for divorce, lived in that from 2015 to 2020. 5 years. Digging myself out of a debt hole, right, and getting myself away from California. But we're back. We've been back. We never really left. Went to the RMZ. Then I was like, 2020, I've got to get back. Landed in Florida on October 31st of 2020, and I've been here in Florida ever since. Moved around a few times. Finally settled down. Finally got the bunker in place. And I'm glad to be with you guys live on the Prepared Mind channel. Mr. Uman, what do we want to do next? Who's up? What do you guys want to talk about? It's your show. Super chat button there gets you here, and it's Phlebitis, who says, it was never so much as a vaccine as it was an IQ test. Many were tested and are now proven dead dumb. You know, the saving grace of that, and I don't have a ton of proof, but I have a lot of reports, and we actually have doctors and nurses and other people that were arrested or fired or both for giving people saline solution injections. In other words, harmless, safe water, rather than giving them the Jim Jones juice. Other areas we're having so many reactions to the Pfizer or the Moderna or the AstraZeneca or the Johnson & Johnson. I don't know, did Lilly have one as well? Whatever, all these fucking pharmaceutical companies, they had to put in placebos as a certain percentage. So hopefully if you got it, you got placebo. But a friend of mine, personal friend that I knew for years and years and years, got the shot, died. Same day, dead. We watched the very first nurse get injected on TV. Walked over to the microphone, passed out, and fucking died. People dead everywhere. Other people have got it. I have family members that have got it. Yeah, it's an IQ test. It was also a freedom test. It was a personal will test. It was a test to see if you could resist all the pressure. But people were told, you'll be fired. You'll lose contracts. You'll lose your business. You'll lose your house. You'll lose your family. You'll lose your job. Everyone will fucking hate you. You're going to go to concentration camps if you don't get it. You'll be locked in your house. You can't go out in public. They did every threat known to man. So, Phlebitis, it was even bigger than an IQ test. They lied. It's safe. They lied. It's effective. They lied. It's been tested. They lied about everything. It'll protect you. Oh, no, it won't protect you. It'll help you. But we got to get it's a fucking lie. The whole thing was a lie. The whole thing was a lie. And a lot of the dead ones, you know why they're dead. In addition to having an injury, I'm going through one of my typical detox programs, personal detox program. I guess I should give it, even though I did not get it. I did not get any juice boosters. I try not to hang out anywhere near people that I know are Democrats and are Jacksonated. But I started, week one was take 3 probiotic, jacked up, activated charcoal pills, 3 of those a day, along with 2 chelated magnesium vitamin pills. And then week 2, I did this product called Paragard, which is a natural antiparasitic with the same same regimen of one of those Paragard, 2 of the magnesium, and continuing to do 3 every single day of the activated charcoal with probiotics and other vitamins and minerals and shit in them. Week 3, I did the 3 activated charcoal, the 2 chelated magnesium, the 1 Paragard, and then a 444 milligram fenbendazole. And I'm going to do that for 2 more weeks. And then I'm going to take a couple of weeks off and do it again. I kill the parasites. I knock the piss out of everything. The activated charcoal. And then I also, of course, chew on a cigar and get my nicotine on a daily basis. Because nicotine apparently is very hard on, well, let's see, viruses and colds and coronaviruses and bacteria and all sorts of stuff. I put cinnamon in my hot toddy. Cinnamon is supposed to be good for killing parasites and detoxing. Get detox, folks. There's other detoxes out there as well. It's very important. Anyways, phlebitis, it was an IQ test. It was also a test to see how independent you are from government, from the state, from your job, and everything else. It was one of those awful things I've ever heard. I know 2 manufacturers, corporate manufacturers, the owners of these businesses. They're not the hugest corporations, but they're corporations. They're businesses. They hire people. They do millions of dollars in business. They were threatened with losing their fucking business. Government contracts. Other people work for the government, threatened. It was awful. Fuck them all over this, because look at what's going on. There are people now reporting. Doctors, scientists, chemists, biologists coming out, people with a big doctor in front of their name saying people are going to continue to die, they're going to be sterile, they're going to get diseases, they're getting cancer. Children have heart disease. It's like, what the? They did it to us. Chance favors the prepared mind. Anything the government says to do, I am extremely suspicious. I'll pass. Fuck them. All right, Mr. Uman, who wants to talk next? Super chats right up here. Hey, and it's Big Bob Hunter out of Scotland. Aye, Bob. It's good to hear from you, bro. I have a terrible Scottish accent. I won't insult you anymore with it. But know this, Americans love the Scots, and I love the Scots and the Scotch. $50 gets me an 18-year Glenfiddich. And I tell you what, you ever meet a real Scot in person, you'll fucking know it, because you'll hear about it. Thank you, Big Bob. I love the Scots. I love the English. I love the Irish and the Welsh. Love them. I love Europeans. I hate their governments, all of them. Anyways, Bob says, John, I love you, brother. This is a small gift from the island of Scotland, ruled by a bunch of frickin' tyrants. I know some people don't like Trump, but rather Trump than Adolf Biden. I believe it is a battle of 2 evils, John, but defining the 2 evils is hard. It truly is, Bob, because we're given the false dichotomy or the false choice, which in the realm of debate and critical thinking, the false choice is one of the absolute worst things to do to a human. To say, do you want evil heavy duty or evil light? And those are your 2 choices. That's what they've done to us. In America, we've always had the 2-party system. The independent party's never been anything significant. The Green Party, the communists, the socialists, the Libertarian Party have always been a joke in American politics. And here we are. You asked me, would I rather have Trump than Adolf Biden? The answer is, of course, I'd rather have Trump than Biden. But I would like Trump to do a little more for America and a little less for Israel. And a little less for every other country around the world that is anti-American. I'd rather send all the money to Scotland to help the Scots fight their evil fucking politicians and help the people eject the scum out of their country. And by scum, I mean foreigners. These illegals, these so-called asylum seekers. Unbelievable. I got to tell you, Bob, I love the Scots. Love it. Sometimes can't understand you guys. I don't know if you got a heavy brogue or not, but even the English, you get outside London, you get some pretty heavy dialects. It's fun though. It's good, clean fun. Bob, 50-pound super chat donation. Thank you, sir. I'm sure and hope to be hearing from you more with more thoughts. Also, provide me with updates from, both Scotland and Greater England as to what's going on. I did see an advertisement, if we'll call it an advertisement, for someone who wants to oust Keir Starmer as the Prime Minister of England. That guy, in my opinion, is a homosexual hater of all that is right, good, and Christian. I hate that guy. I can't stand him. He is a lying sack of shit. But I digress. Everyone knows that. Mr. Uman, who's next? I've got tons to talk about, but I want to make sure I take care of you guys here first. And we've got on the board Opie Dopey with a $2 super chat. And he says there's a new Broadway show, Ice on Ice, where ham-ass is. Where's ham-ass? Where's ham-ass? I keep ham-ass always close. And this particular puppet here, a ham-ass, I do not have my hand in its ass. It's behind the neck, not an ass puppet. So I'm sure that's why the homosexuals would object to this one. Anyways, Hammy, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking that if I went to those Muslim towns, people would be leaving pretty quick.
Yes, I think that pork products is one of the best ways to defend your home. I think you should probably get posters of different pork product companies, advertising posters, advertising campaign, and put them on your gate, your front door, your automobile, just to make sure nobody gets close to them. And just as a kind warning to all our dear Muslim invaders, that if you come near this place, this car, this house, these people, you could get some pork products on you and you're going to hell. You're going to be denied 72 really ugly, airy, mustachioed virgins when you get there. Anyways, let's do this. Let's continue if we can. Mr. Uman, we got Opie Dopey. $2 super chat. He says, saw you drinking water out of a cow pond. Bigfoot. Yeah, years and years ago, this is back when I was in California, in extreme Northern California, I did a lot of product testing. And one of the ones that I really wanted to get out there and understood was the Life Straw and other Life Straw-like similar products that you could drink any water and it would clean it out. First, one more reminder, share the internet address on YouTube, send it to friends, family, loved ones, coworkers. Get it out there to them so they can come here and watch and learn what the hell is going on and how they need to get prepared, both in their head and with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Now, I took a Life Straw and went to a pond, and I think it was August. No fresh water coming into the pond, stagnant, stale, with cow footprints all over the place, because it was rangeland. I was up in the mountains going through rangeland, and there's this cow pond, and I decided to film drinking, and the Life Straw worked. I did get a call from, you okay there, Uman? I did get a call from, he's okay. It looks like he was barfing there because I was talking about all the shit in the pond. All right. I got a call from Vaughn the next day asking if I was okay. I had zero parasites. I had zero anything, no giardia, nothing, no shits, no pukes, no sick, nothing. Life Straw worked for me. Also used it at the RMZ. As far as Bigfoot goes, there's a reason Bigfoot stays away from humans. There's a reason for it. And one last push here, cafefe.com. I guess I should finish this coffee up here. Very important to stay hydrated. All right. Let's do it. We got a lot to talk about. I have so much stuff, but you guys, it's your show on Sunday night. Oh, man. It is my fourth and fifth cousin, Nancy Kegg. I call her little sister sometimes, but hey, she says, good to see you, John. Your choice of topic again. Just listen tonight, Semper Fi, meaning always faithful to the Prepared Mind family. All right, for you, Nancy, I've got a topic. And I know, or at least I think I know, you're not in the great state of New York, the Empire State. But if you are, look out. The governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, who looks like the sister to Michigan's governor, Gretchen the Grinch Whitmore. Anyways, Kathy Hochul is saying that she wants Kristi Noem fired. And she is vowing right now that she, a state governor, is going to hold Trump administration officials accountable once they leave office. Well, you dumb bitch, Kathy Hochul. If they've committed a crime, if they've violated the law, if they've crossed into danger zone, you can charge them with crimes now. Charge them with crimes now. They can't. It's all bullshit. But look, folks, this is how I see it. And Nancy, I think this is important for you, everyone. We, in my opinion, are just a few months from greater partisan conflict, what some people want to call a civil war, what I'm going to call a purge of the retarded politicians and government agents out there. Right now, the left, the political leftists, are calling for violence. Even Governor Hochul is calling for Trump officials to be held accountable. We have the governor of Minnesota calling and encouraging and promoting and telling his people more of what you're doing, and more of what they're doing is violence, assaults, obstruction of justice, harboring fugitives, giving aid and comfort to terrorists. The mayor of Minneapolis, the governor of Illinois, the mayor of Chicago, the governor of New York, the mayor of New York City, the governor of California, the governor of Oregon, the governor of Washington State. Who is that asshole? Inslee? You got Gruesome, the jackass Newsom in California, all of his fucking mayors. The most notable one at the time is Karen Bass, the communist bitch who let the Palisades burn through her ineptitude. Then way over on the other coast, you got the mayor of Boston, an Asian woman. I'm sorry, an Asian communist, or should I call her Oriental? I don't give a fuck, right? Talking bad about white people. This attack on whites. By the way, you dumb fucking commies, whites are still the majority in this country. Well, wait a minute. Half of them are fucking Democrat, dumbass, liberal communists. Yeah, we're in trouble, folks. If you're a Hispanic conservative, a black conservative, an Asian conservative, a white conservative, Native American conservative, you've got a target painted on your back, on your front, on your car, on your house. We all do. And I think the conflict is coming. I really do. Everyone beware. Everyone be aware. All right, I've got my lineup set up. Thank you, Nancy, for the great support. She's here every week. She's also here on the preparedmind.club Monday through Friday live. And you can be there live. All you've got to do is go to the preparedmind.club, CLUB, or subscribestar.com, and you can be a Guerrilla Premium Funder, and it's $2 a month. It keeps the lights on, like I said, and it keeps me from having to get a third fucking job. All right, let's continue if we shall. Mr. Uman. We've got Dan Downs. He says, the world elites are tricking us to fight each other, and the left is particularly susceptible because they're stupid. Dan, I cannot agree with you more on this. I can't. And I'm wondering at what point a high school friend of mine named Dan, who disappeared back in the early 90s, is going to be getting a hold of us on here. I don't know. I don't even know what side Dan's on anymore. He disappeared in military intelligence. All right, here it is. The world elites are tricking us to fight each other. Yes, Yes, the divide and conquer concept has been set forth. Here's what they didn't count on, and here's what they did count on. Pitting Republicans and Democrats. Making Democrats believe the most ridiculous shit, and they do because they are stupid. They've also taken the Jim Jones juice, the mRNA vaccine, the COVID vaccine, which, in my opinion, is killing their brains. There are now physicians all over the world saying it is affecting the personalities and the function of brain activity. I say it's microclots. Other people say it's spike proteins literally chewing holes in the brain, very similar to mad cow disease. And as the IQ lowers, as brain function is reduced, the response to stimulus becomes more violent oriented, violence first rather than intellect. So understand, they are tricking us to fight each other. They're importing Muslims from Somalia, Yemen, the Middle East, Pakistan. They're inviting in Indians from India. They're inviting in Africans, North Africans, East Africans, West Africans that hate us. They're inviting in MS-13, Transdaguari. They're inviting in all these drug lords, drug runners, the Sinaloa cartel. They're inviting them into our country. Also Europe, England, Scotland, Canada, Australia, Japan. Oh, Japan is fighting this off, by the way. We'll talk about that more if you guys bring it up. It's ending. It's literally going to end in violence. They're pitting all of them against the good people. Whatever country you're in, they're pitting all of these other groups against the good people. And people are waking up and realizing it is the world elites that are doing it. It's the world elites. They're liars. They're charlatans. They're scumbags. And people are calling them out, and I have for years. And they're also pointing and realizing this is CIA. This is Mossad. This is MI5, MI6. This is Interpol. And they are attacking us by allowing this and causing this. China's laughing their ass off as they watch the United States of America, a superpower rival to them, as well as a very big customer of theirs, destroy itself in front of them. They don't have to do anything anymore. They can just step back and let these world elites fuck us over. Yep, there's all of these religious groups. They hate us and they want us dead. And some are sneaky, and they use the other as muscle. We'll get to that more in time, I'm certain. And we've got just a ton to talk about, folks. Ton. Now, I think I can go over this really quick. Right? That moron, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think we can all agree she is an absolute fucking retard. She is calling the Minneapolis shooting an execution. Does anyone believe, thank you, Dan, by the way, does anyone believe that ICE showed up and said, we're going to execute an American? We're going to execute a protester? We're going to execute a rioter? No, I don't believe that for a fucking second. I had a big meeting last night with 4 other people, sat down and talked about this at length. Right? But she's saying it's an execution, and AOC is encouraging the protesters. While the chaos is escalating, she's encouraging them to keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Now, for her to say keep going is the same as calling for violence and lawlessness, because that is what they're doing, and encouraging them to keep doing it is inciting, excusing, pardoning, encouraging violence and lawlessness. No doubts. No doubts. In Washington, D.C., that's a coward's den. Everyone in Washington, D.C., all they do is talk. Expect more of the same out of them, though. The same out of, well, Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, who's been very quiet since he got caught spending millions of dollars flying around the country so he can keep sniffing his girlfriend's panties, right? But expect more of the same. Big words, harsh letters, and doing nothing. Of course, unless you talk about pedophiles and the Epstein lists, unless you talk about Israel and the World Economic Forum and Epstein some more. Otherwise, they won't do shit. They won't do shit except incite violence, just like Dan said. Incite violence and keep doing what they're doing. Collecting money, collecting bribes, collecting payouts. Oh, yeah. Exactly. I mean, Pam Bondi, she came on TV today and she played the meme. What do you mean she played the meme? Oh, we just crossed 300 people live. Share the internet address. Let's get up to 400 people live tonight. By the time this video is out and done, 1,000 people have watched it. By the time the week is over, thousands of people have watched this video, despite YouTube hiding us. That's why I ask you guys, share the internet address. Share it. So we tell YouTube, go F yourselves. Anyways, Pam Bondi sent a strongly worded letter to the Minnesota governor, Tampon Timmy, Twinkle Toes Timmy Waltz. Oh, shit, everyone. Hang on. A strongly worded letter. That's all she's ever done. I mean, even Tampon Timmy has stopped wetting his bed over anything Pam Bondi says. She goes on Fox News. We all said, we're tired of you on Fox News, you dumb bitch. She's got a strongly worded letter. Who gives a shit? She's done nothing. I mean, does the world see now how Washington, D.C. allows chaos and bedlam, and on the Democrat side promotes chaos and bedlam? Pam allows it. Trump talks big but allows Pam to do nothing. Kash Patel does nothing. And the Democrats encourage it. It's so fucking transparent. I can see the World Economic Forum's hand up Pam Bondi's ass. Just like Peppa the Pig there. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. I hope everyone is getting ready to pay their taxes this year. I sure hope so. Because, you know, they spend it so wisely. Mr. Uman, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? Who? Coach Kyle. Coach Kyle, $20 super chat. He says he's 33. That was a good year. 33 for me. Not vaxxed and fine. Unlike El Dedo Reporto. He says, I went through abuse in childhood. I went through sexual abuse in childhood, and if I found a pedo, I don't know what I would do. What is it going to take to put all these pedos in prison? I'm okay solving a problem, society won't. And I'll tell you what, Kyle, there's a lot of people in social media, on X or even Facebook, but certainly on YouTube and then throughout the internet, who are openly sharing the fact that either they were molested as kids or their sisters and other people they know were molested. I myself have, just through general conversation over the years, run into many women and even a few men who have admitted that they were raped, molested by family, by friends, by strangers. Awful shit. And a lot of people now are saying it's time to just kill these people. And you know what? I'll get out my pom-poms every chance I get. I don't run into these pedophiles. I don't know where the fuck they're at. I'm glad they're not anywhere near me. I don't want to know. Keep them the fuck away. Right now, years and years and years ago, this had to be back in 2005. I was building a house, and the guy down the street would walk by every day, and he started talking to me. He's just being a nice guy, you know, asking how I'm building this house, etc. And you know, I went, and I just a fucking weird hunch. I checked the online registry for sex offenders, and lo and behold, there was that guy. And that offender database had a different name than the one he told me. So next time he walked by, I said, "Hey, was this you?" And he said, "No." I said, "Sure looks like you." I said, "You know, I've got kids. I don't want you anywhere near my project. No pedophiles. Thank you." He says, "I'm not a pedophile." I said, "I understand that sex offenders don't necessarily have to be pedophiles, but just fucking end it right now and leave." And he did. And he never showed his fucking face again. Right? Sex offender, pissing on the side of the road, accidentally someone gazing at your wiener. I don't fucking know. But yeah, these pedophiles, they're over on the left, folks. Those are your Democrats. But oh no, wait. Trump's so-called Christian advisor was just found guilty of raping or molesting a 12-year-old boy, was it? And he got 6 whole months in jail for that. It needs to end. It really does. And it needs to end harshly. They need to get themselves right with God before they get the living shit kicked out of them. Coach Kyle, thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you're not vaxxed. I'm glad you've got it together up here. Many people don't. They fucking get fried. But yeah, it's part of life. And if we, the people, meaning you, me, us, were allowed to take care of the problem properly, there would be a whole lot less of them out there. Kind of like these violent, radical, pedophile homosexuals out there that are out trying to adopt children left and right. Oh, we're just normal people. And how many times do you hear about it? It's fucking awful. It's fucking awful. Anyways, let's continue. The day of reckoning is coming. The day of reckoning is coming. Ooh, man, who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? We got Redneck Roughneck, who's here week out. He says, we got about 14 inches of snow, ice, sleet mix here. And it's still coming down. Snowmageddon here in Texas. And all the milk and bread is gone. I'm all good here, but been reading a lot about others in town that are suddenly out of everything. Like we didn't know for a week ahead of time that this was coming. Even if you tell people, even if it is not an uncertain SHTF event, or maybe aliens or a comet or something coming to get us in the distant future, the government's like, it's coming. Here's the weather reports. It's going to be shitty, and they still do nothing to save themselves. It's terrible. I'm glad you, Mr. Roughneck, are fine. I've got generators, solar, food for a while, lots of, right. Here it is. I have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. It doesn't have to be for Armageddon. That stuff works in Snowmageddon. It does. It works in Snowmageddon. You could lose power for a day, power for a week. You may not be able to get bread or milk. But hey, if you've got water and powdered milk, bread mix, you can make your own. How about that, right? If you've got a wood stove, you can even do an improvised oven with the stove or on top of the stove. There's so many ways to survive and live. I mean, you don't have to do what I did and go live in a fucking jungle in a tent under a tarp and carve out a bit of jungle wilderness for yourself to learn how to do this. It's very simple. The preparedmind.club is one thing, but hey, how about the rsyndicate.com? Let's get that up there on the board if we can, Mr. Uman. The rsyndicate.com. You go there, right? And you can go to the preparedmind.club, but he's got links to survival, woodcraft, food growing, food harvesting, food preparation, long-term storage, other channels, the rsyndicate.com. And you can put that up there, Mr. Uman. There we go. That website right there, kapow, is a great resource for finding other people in the business. Other people in the business. Whew, I tell you, you've got to be prepared. Right? Earthquakes, you don't get any notice. Hurricanes, you get notice. Tornadoes, not any notice. Snowstorms, you get some notice. Right? Get prepared because you don't know when it'll come in handy. And in the event of something like this, Redneck Roughneck can go out and help his neighbors to the extent that he feels like helping them by providing them with a little bit of something. But it can get radical. It can get crazy. It really can. And speaking of people that are in the dark, it is dark in Ukraine. It is freezing in Ukraine. And they've got a catastrophe on their hands, according to their energy executive in the country, because Russia has been striking them with bombing after bombing after bombing. And they're now threatening to disconnect the nuclear power plants from the grid that feeds Ukraine. I think they should. The world's largest nuclear power plant system is in Zaporizhia. Remember when we were talking about that 2 years ago? When the Russians took that province, eastern province, which is now part of Russia, the people there had a democratic election, voted and said, fuck Ukraine, they're killing us and murdering us, they're genociding us. We want to be part of Russia. So what did Ukraine do? They started bombing the nuclear power plant. Fortunately, they're built to withstand bombs. But yeah, they should cut the power off. Fuck them. You know, it's not the people of Ukraine that's the problem. It's the leadership and who the leadership obeys. Right? Not good. The leadership in Ukraine is obeying their masters in the World Economic Forum, their masters in Israel and Europe and America. That's right. They've got bosses in America and they're doing what they're told. Keep fighting and don't give up. Kill all your own people. Right? But the mainstream media is not going to report this. They've got serious problems. And Putin is putting the screws to that little faggot Zelensky. He's putting the screws to him. Keeping, I think, primarily Kiev in the dark. It's winter and cold over there. Keep them in the dark. Isn't that what America, the United States of America, is doing to Iran? Keeping them sanctioned, cut off. Right there, there's a moratorium on any trade with Iran, unless, of course, it's to give them airplane loads of cash. But yeah, they're being told, you know, the people, we're only hurting you, the people of Iran, to get the leadership out of control. So the people of Iran suffer because the leadership won't listen to, well, Washington, D.C. and Tel Aviv. But in Ukraine, Putin's doing the same. He's like, hey, you're hurting your own people by sending them to get killed. You're hurting your own people by continuing to bomb Russia. All they have to do is say, we quit, wave the white flag, war's over. People can go back to being people. But Zelensky will not. And for that, don't you think that those people over there want to be preppers? All right, Mr. Uman, who's up next? What do we got? It's your show, and it's Bioxo with $1.99. And he said this, that Kathy Hochul deserves the Brass Horse Award. Well, I don't have the brass horse, but what I do have is the fabled Silver Sphincter and Horse's Ass Award for Kathy Hochul. She does deserve it. There's so many that deserve the coveted Horse's Ass Award. There are, Lauren, there are plenty of front runners for the Horse's Ass Award. Thank you, Bioxo, for sponsoring this week's winner, Governor Kathy Hochul, who has no idea what the hell she's talking about, and she is a complete dumb bitch, and an evil one at that, an absolutely evil, worthless bitch. And by the way, she's now starting to wear Muslim-approved clothing. You can see where this is going, right? Not just New York City, but New York State. We need to comply with radical, violent, murderous Islam. Oh, there's a problem. There's a big problem, folks. Big problem in New York. Oh, yes. Big problem there. Mayor Mamdani is not doing what his handlers want. In other words, he's lied to the people about what he is and isn't going to do. And now the people that sponsored him and were his handlers and put him in, a lot of them are not happy because he's going to do what he wants. And what he wants appears to be something completely against, right, America and American supporters from abroad. Anyways, we're going to have a full-on, 4-alarm, multi-religious war that happens in this country. Hang on to your hats, folks. Okay, Mr. Uman, let's do it. Let's see who's up next. I've got a ton of topics. I never get to them all because you guys keep me busy with your super chats, and it's your show Sunday night. Let's see what you want to talk about. Oh, I'm looking in on the magical mobile command center, and man, there he is. Says that Big Dan the Man has a $5 super chat donation. And here we go. This is a great topic. What happened to Nicolas Maduro, the former communist dictator of the sovereign nation called Venezuela? He's not in the news. Is he playing golf at Mar-a-Lago with Trump? The Minnesota news is the only topic now. Yeah, funny. They went down there. They captured Maduro. They drug him back to America. And apparently they're arraigning him for criminal trial for violating gun laws in America while he's in Venezuela. Fucking ridiculous. But, Trump said, hey, the new president of Venezuela better have her shit together. And then just last week, we were told she's doing a good job. Well, thanks, Trump, for letting us know that the replacement communist dictator for Venezuela, the former vice president, is now the president. And she's doing a good job. Well, Maduro, Dan, disappeared a lot like that guy from Panama. Remember Manuel Noriega, old pineapple face himself? Yeah, from way back, folks. Way, way back when I was a jarhead. We had that problem down there. They flipped a coin, and my good friend PFC Johnson got to go to Panama, and I didn't. I ended up staying in North Carolina. But he went down there and said, by day, the Panamanians were great. At night, they were shooting at everyone. Wild times back then. But what happened with Manuel Noriega? Well, they went down, captured him, put him on a plane, flew him back to America. And we never heard about him again, did we? Never heard about him again. Lots of problems with Panama. We got our Panama Canal there that American lives, fortune, and everything else were invested in. Thousands of men died building that thing. And then Panama wanted to say, well, it's ours, and we're going to give Chinese the control of it. Well, that ended pretty quick. But, I met a former Marine in Reno, Nevada. I don't know if you've heard about this, Dan, but I've shared the story at least one other time. I saw a Marine in a Lowe's building center in Reno, Nevada. I was doing a project over there, and he had a Marine Corps cover on, but he had an emblem on the front of it. It was not American. And I said, what the fuck is that? And this guy was a big Japanese American. He was 6'1", pretty big and muscular guy, typical Marine build. I said, what is that on your cover, Marine? And he said, well, that's the French Foreign Legion symbol. And I said, do tell. And he said, well, he left the Marines, joined the Air Force. And when he was in the Air Force, he was on the flight. He was part of the flight crew that went down to Panama and put Noriega on the plane to bring him back to America. And he said Noriega thought he was dead, like literally dead, like he was going to be taken out and put a bullet in the back of the head. The way they do in third world countries, take care of your political problems. He said he was pretty disgusted because they flew him over to Miami, transported him to a very nice hotel, and, had him under lock and key. Since then, I don't think anyone has heard about Manuel Noriega ever again. I certainly haven't. In any event, oh, by the way, this guy then left the Air Force and joined the French Foreign Legion. And that's where I learned, he shared with me, regaled me with many tales of how the French, using their mercenary force, the Foreign Legion, go into French colonies in Africa and South America. And if anyone is giving the French government and authorities any trouble, they hunt them down and murder them in cold blood. They do forced marches. They kill people. That's what they do. That's what they're paid to do. They're mercenaries. So when the French or the English or any other country wants to talk bad and say that we're fascists and we're murdering people, all governments are nasty, dirty entities, and they lie to their own people and the media and each other about it. All right, let's continue if we shall. Thank you, Big Dan the Man. If you got something you want to talk about, I'll get you on the screen and make you famous. All you've got to do, super chat button right up there. Or you can go into the video description. And you've got PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. And that will get you up on the screen, or at least get me talking about what's going on. And Lynn, if you don't know me by now, I am not a bot, says, what's up with Democrat governors pardoning, granting clemency to murderers? I think they want them on the streets. I do. They're releasing murderers. They're pardoning murderers. They're giving them no sentences. Time served. They've been in jail a fucking week. They've murdered. They've raped. They've robbed. They've kidnapped. They're selling drugs and a combination of all those things, and they don't care. They don't care. Democrat governors. Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about one of my favorites here. Illinois, or Hellinois, Governor J.B. Pritzker says Trump is making people, quote, want to commit violence against the federal government. The federal government's in Washington, D.C. To commit violence against the federal government, you've got to go to Washington, D.C., or I guess any local federal building. But Governor Pritzker and Newscomb and Inley and every other fucking piece of shit, worthless governor, Hochul and the rest, right? I don't want to name them all. Fuck it. They make me hate state governments. These mayors, like Blowjob BJ in Chicago, Mayor Dumbass in L.A., Karen Bass, Dumbass. And then you go to New York City, right? Then you got that man Danny. He's a fucking worthless piece of shit, right? They make me want to commit violence again, right? No, they don't make me want to do that. That's a choice. Nothing they do makes me want to commit violence. But you get the state, local, and federal level. All of these politicians are doing the same fucking thing, letting criminals go at every level. Even Trump. Trump has now given a presidential pardon to the son of a congressman. This son was arrested, tried, convicted, and in jail for being a huge drug dealer. Why? What the fuck is up with all of this? Right? So, Greaseball J.B. Pritzker, I call him a greaseball, Jabba the Prickster. He looks like Jabba the Hutt. He makes people want to puke and commit violence against all Democrats, against the communists, and against these illegals. If he can say he makes, Trump makes people want to commit violence against the federal government, people like Pritzker and Newscomb and Hochul and Whitmore and even, Tampon Timmy, they make people, I don't know who these people are, but they want to commit violence against every Democrat, every communist, every socialist, all the illegals. So we're all even, right? Everyone knows, by the way, where Gavin Newsom lives and his aunt, that's right, 90 Proof Nancy. Everyone knows where Pritzker lives, even his houses apparently down here in Florida. Everyone knows where these people live. They're not safe. Everyone knows it's going to be messy. Everyone knows. Everybody knows it's going to get nasty. But these communists have their people out there. They've got their hitmen. They're waiting for this to get nasty. Folks, what's stopping it right now, slowing it down? All of these storms. Don't worry. We're going to, what is it? It's the end of January. It's going to be February. Then, March, April, May, June, July. It's going to get hot. We're in an election year. It's an off year. It's not a presidential election, but it's coming. The violence is going to become unhinged. Thank you, Lynn, not a bot. Unhinged. Well, here we go. The unhinged January 6th cop who was screaming and yelling in Congress, Michael Fanone. He is a piece of shit. You look at this guy and you know he's a piece of shit. He looks dirty. He's got tattoos all over himself. I mean, look, I've got biker friends. I don't give a fuck. I've got military friends tatted up. I got regular people. I don't give a fuck. But this guy's a piece of shit because he's out there. And he declares, this guy, he's screaming, Trump supporters are the enemy. A cop or former cop who participated in the January 6th bullshit setup lie, seen giving a nice kiss and kissing the ass of Nancy Pelosi, is calling you and me the enemy. because we don't stand on his side. And he is insisting that we, the enemy, need to be destroyed. Okay? Commie cops, folks, are not the same as active duty military. He's not the same as sportsmen, and certainly not the same as military veterans with respect to coming armed confrontations and the use of arms. This bullshit cop saying that we're the enemy and we need to be destroyed. I'm waiting for the fun to start, folks. I'm waiting. It's going to happen. I'm not a criminal. I will be happy to assist lawful government remove these stains of humanity with lead-fortified bleach. Stains of humanity with lead. That was a good one. Bing, bing. But I'm not telling anyone to be violent or lawless. I'm telling you, it's not yet the time, but it's coming. Stay calm. Be prepared. Have all the items you need to be prepared, as well as keeping your brain full and active. It's not time yet, but we are advancing in that direction. I think Trump needs to turn the military loose on these communist rioters. I think he needs to turn the military loose and arrest these governors and these mayors and anyone in government and in law enforcement that are calling for lawlessness. This guy is supposed to be a fucking cop or an ex-cop, and he's calling for Trump supporters to be killed. Do you see where we're at? Do you see that shit has hit the fan? I mean, they're stepping it up. I mean, now, right, there are rioters that are using tire puncturing devices to sabotage and throw underneath immigrations and customs enforcement vehicles. They're arresting them. The Department of Homeland Security is arresting these people when they catch them, but they're doing that. They're putting, it's like a piece of wood with spikes sticking out in every direction. So no matter how you hit it with your car, you're going to get spikes in your tires and you get flat tires. That is, I don't know if it's attempted murder, but it's certainly interfering with police investigations, police actions, right? It is completely destroying private or public or both property. It's endangering the lives of others, putting lives at risk. Right now, if I were to fight the law, I would deploy those, but I would also bring guns and start killing everyone. If you're going to fight, go all the way, you dumbasses. But I think they're getting there. They're going from standing in the road to confronting to throwing shit at them, bottles of water, etc. They're physically confronting them. They're bringing guns to their protests. They pulled a gun. The guy got shot for it. So sorry, not really. Understand, folks. This is coming. It's coming quick. Right? I'm not the violent one. You're not violent. I'm not fighting lawful government. You're not fighting lawful government. The Democrats are. The communists are. Antifa is. BLM is. Black Lives Matter, who they are. And also the Black Panthers. The pro-Palestinians, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, anti-American, Islamic scumbags, they're all fighting the government. Not to mention the illegals here that are screwing us all over and stealing our money. Those who are choosing violence to protect fraud, kidnapping, rape, and terrorism, they're a mere few steps away from gunfights with ICE. I have my popcorn. I have my beer. I have my scotch. I'm ready to see what happens next. I also have my self-defense, and I will protect and defend my bunker, my friends, family, and my community from these fucking people. I think we all are getting to that point. But the government is not causing it to come down. They're pushing divide and conquer. How do they conquer? By having us fight each other. Are you stupid enough to forget? When it's all over and all these dumbasses are eliminated, who allowed them to do it? Every Democrat politician, every Democrat judge, every Democrat chief of police, every Republican in Congress, every Republican at the state level better have a clear fucking record, or we're going to hold you guys responsible for allowing and causing civil disturbance and the violence and destruction of our country. That's why they've been entrusted with that authority, right? It's right here. Constitution. The government's supposed to keep the peace. That's their fucking job. Not encourage violence and murder and revolt. All right, enough of my stuff. What do you guys want to talk about? Who's up next? Man, we're an hour and 20 minutes in on Sunday Night Live. Redneck Ruffing says Greenland is hitting us with their weather. Was certainly an unexpected first strike. Oh, yeah. They did cloud seeding in Greenland, and it traveled all the way around the world back and hit the heartland of America. Don't worry. Last week, how did the government know that it was going to be this bad? Well, according to people who looked up at the sky, guess what they saw? Chemtrails everywhere. It's now been revealed that the CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, and other black ops, DARPA-type organizations are on their own working with aircraft manufacturers and companies to outfit more and more jets with weather modification equipment and materials. In other words, they're not going to stop. They don't want to stop. They want to continue to punish people around the world with weather modification, weather control, as well as directed energy weapons. Yeah. Remember how we were told there's no such thing as directed energy weapons? How stupid are you? That's a conspiracy. There's no way to do any of that stuff. Well, they're showing now that they can. They have admitted to using directed energy weapons on individuals, on groups, and I'm sure on the environment, etc. More will come out. More will come out. Thank you, Redneck Roughneck. Mr. Ooman, who's next? I'll make you famous. Let's get you on the board. And it's Davey D with a good one. When I see Davey, I know there's going to be a $357 in there. And he did the $50 plus a $357. You know, $50 buys me a Glenfiddich single malt, 18-year, Scotch. And your donations, all of them, but especially the large ones, help fund the bunker and fund my lavish lifestyle, which consists of drinking Scotch. Good golly, folks. Davey D, thank you, sir. I tell you, smooth. And he says, Prob commented at the time, lost my job with a huge propulsion, i.e. jet manufacturer, for not testing and lost the lawsuit. Working and getting paid, didn't take it. Okay, what he's talking about is the Jim Jones juice, the vaccine. A huge jet manufacturer. Wow, who could that be? Boeing, maybe? I don't know, McDonnell Douglas? Is Pratt & Whitney even around anymore? Anyways, all of these jet manufacturers, they got government contracts, and the government told them, you tell your people to get the shot. Get the Jim Jones juice. Get the jacked up juice so they can die of heart attacks. And the companies went to all their people and said, you're going to get that, whether you like it or not. Well, Davey D lost his job, but guess what? I guess they lost the lawsuit. Working and getting paid did not take it. Good for you, brother. I'm glad you didn't. A lot of people had to, because the government said, we don't care. Government jobs, government associated, they fired people. Some people in the military were actually tackled, abused physically, and given against their will. A fucking war crime, a fucking crime against humanity. The whole thing is awful. I'm glad you're good, though, dude. I'm glad you're good. But even if you're good, this whole spike protein thing is still out there. These other people are still shedding spike proteins. In other words, coughing, sneezing, farting, breathing on other humans. make sure you detox yourself from time to time. Make sure you detox yourself and kill these spike proteins. Kill the parasites in your body so that your immune system is stronger and can go attack that shit. Anyways, Davey D, you, my friend, just gave me a detox right there, an alcohol detox. Thank you, sir. Crazy business. I can't remember. What did I have for this one? Let's see. Crazy stuff. I had something that kind of goes in line with that. Well, I lost it. I'll find it again, though. But I did run into the story about Bill Maher. Does everyone know who Bill Maher is? What's his show called? I don't know what I'm talking about, or the left-wing truth. He's got some fucking show on HBO. Anyways, Bill Maher is criticizing Zoran Ramdani, criticizing him. He said, quote, "He's a straight-up communist." Oh, really, Bill? Now, this is interesting. It's bad when Bill Maher, a Jewish socialist, is afraid of a communist like Zoran Ramdani. I think Maher actually is smart enough to see how communism can get out of hand and get out of hand really fast. And with a Muslim communist, of all people in New York City, the Jews could end up paying dearly along with the rest of the white people and other normal Americans who are black or brown or Oriental, right? This is what you get. These people thought they could control them, allowing a foreign communist Muslim to control a major city in America. And now Bill Maher is seeing the problem with that. He's a straight up communist. Yeah, no shit. He's also a straight up fucking Muslim. Muslims don't like the Jews, folks. But they wanted to bring him in to divide and conquer America, to get the whitey to fight the Muzis, the camel jockeys. That's what they wanted to do. That's their plan. Destroy America from the inside. Parasites, all of them, in my opinion. I tell you, I absolutely tell you. It's Sunday Night Live, folks. Oh, we got a precious metal update. Holy cow, I haven't even talked about what's going on with the dollar, the bond, the carry trade, silver and gold, the economic SHTF that's going on. Silver is over $106.64 after the open in the Asian market, currently at 105.50. Well, it closed at 103 and some change. Over the weekend, they just decided to call it even less. They took like another $1.50 off of it because, they know what it's worth in New York when the market's closed and no one's bidding. But it opened, right, over 106, sitting down a little. Gold is around $5,035. Holy smokes. It hit a new high of $5,043 an ounce. Now, a lot of people have said, this means the dollar is worthless. Do not believe that. The dollar is subject to inflation. Inflation is caused by money printing at the Federal Reserve, the Treasury, and the U.S. government, all of them working in concert to ruin the value of our currency. The reason silver is going up has nothing to do with the value and purchasing power of the dollar. The dollar is not connected to silver. The dollar is connected to people's willingness to accept it in payment as a currency. The Federal Reserve loans dollars that it creates out of thin air with their magic monetary machine, modern monetary theory. They'll just electronically type in numbers, and that's how much currency there is. They transfer that to banks. They spend it. They invest it. They do whatever they want, right? The more currency you get, the less purchasing power it has. It has nothing to do with silver. The reason silver is going off the charts is because for the last, 30 fucking years at least, silver mines have been unfunded. unloved, unwanted, uncared for. Because we need computers and internet and AI, and we need all of these technologies, self-driving cars and super this and super that and electronic everything. Everything's electronic. Yeah, your TV, your phone, your pad, every fucking thing is electronic, and every bit of electronic, all this high tech that everyone wants to invest in takes silver. So silver, copper, gold, zinc, nickel, every metal that's useful, iron even, every metal that's useful, guess what they haven't done? They haven't invested money in opening more mines. Do these fucking idiots in Wall Street? And the answer is yes, they do. Do they think that these mines are endless? That they can just keep digging the dirt and keep going and going and it's going to keep producing? No, it doesn't. Because metal comes in what are known as deposits. Deposits. It's deposited wherever the hell it was deposited by God 4 billion years ago. He's like, I put a little there and a little here and a little there. Right? You can't just go dig for uranium or gold anywhere. It's where it's at. And so you've got to spend money finding it. Then you got to spend money and lots of permits and government fees to explore, meaning drilling lots of holes in the ground to discover how deep it is, if it's even there, in what quantities per ton of ore, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if it's good enough, then you've got to spend money going through all of the environmental shit and dealing with all of the social, economic, political aspects and permitting this and permitting that. And if you get all of that handled and you pay enough money to the politicians, donating to their campaigns, then you have to bring infrastructure to the site, fuel, electricity, buildings, mine equipment, meaning trucks, loaders, shovels, excavators, explosives experts, geologists. You've got to build the buildings, the mining, the refining capacity to process the ore. You've got to do all of that. In other words, you've got to spend fucking billions of dollars on every single operation before you produce one fucking cup load of whatever it is you're trying to get. So instead of making sure we have all the natural resources for our super technological world, which means nickel, copper, zinc, lead, silver, you've got to invest years and even decades. And everyone has been too busy investing in Apple, Nvidia, Netflix, all of this technology stock, which while it's cool, the PE ratios are off the fucking charts, by the way. It's really cool, but they neglected all of this stuff. So the reason silver is going up is not because the dollar is failing. The dollar is failing all by itself because of Washington. Silver is going up because they haven't opened enough silver mines. They haven't explored for it. The silver we get is a byproduct of mining copper. They don't have enough copper mines. We've been told now that we don't have enough copper. We're going to have a copper shortage. Copper price is going to skyrocket. The reason gold is going up is because the dollar is not trusted, not because it's losing purchasing power. Okay, here's the US dollar, and this is how it loses purchasing power. But here's all the other currencies on the planet. So as the dollar goes down slowly, they go down real fast. In other words, the currencies of other countries are way worse than our dollar. The dollar is still the prettiest mare in the slaughter factory where they're making glue. Now, having said that, why is gold going up then? Because countries don't trust the U.S. government. The dollar's fine. The government they don't trust. For example, Russia, minding its own business, and they start having a genocide, ethnic Russians being killed by Ukrainian Nazis, NATO encroaching on Russia, Russia fights back. America says we're going to fully sanction Russia and we're going to freeze $350 billion worth of T-bills, T-bonds, U.S. Treasury notes. That's the dollar. On a sovereign nation scale, they do T-bills and T-bonds, $1 million bonds. They don't mess with ones and fives and tens like we do. So, having said that, what else is the U.S. government doing to discredit itself so that other countries don't want T-bills and T-bonds, but are instead buying gold. They're sanctioning everyone. I'm sorry, tariffing them. Yes, the tariff is a way to protect yourself from aggressive, destructive policies of other countries trying to ruin us. I get it. Tariffs come to America from Europe, China, Japan, Australia, Canada, all over. They tariff the fuck out of us. And we tariff them as well. But Trump is now using tariffs as an economic weapon to punish countries. In fact, today, Trump went back to Canada, the Great White North, and said, you just made a fucking deal with China. We're so mad, we're going to tariff you 100%. Unless you get the hell out of that or change it or give us something else, whatever. That's why the dollar is not wanted and not trusted, because these countries know that they'll get tariffed or have their assets frozen or get sanctioned like Iran, no more trade. So gold is shooting up because all of the central banks around the world, sovereign nations, billionaires are buying gold, not by the coin, but by the ton. So silver is going to skyrocket to the moon. It has nothing to do with the dollar. These are just my opinions, but hey, go ahead and listen to politicians and see if they're going to tell you the fucking truth. I doubt it. Ooman says, I saw an interesting statement saying that the dollar was created with silver and is now being destroyed by silver. Yeah, I read that type of comment. The dollar, silver dollar, was the original dollar. Yes. When they destroyed silver by taking us off of the silver and gold standards, when they took silver out of our money, thank you, Uman, when they took silver out of our money, right, the dollar could go down. Once again, it's that whole fiat bullshit currency, modern monetary theory. They can do inflation and bring down the purchasing power of the dollar faster than when it was backed by silver, which held it up. It held it up. If you look at inflation, and when the inflation really hit, guess when that was? 1971. Nixon took us off the gold standard and they took silver out of all of the money. And ever since then, we've had paper-backed paper. Paper backed by the goodwill and kind words of politicians in D.C. and the Federal Reserve Bank. Right? The dollar now looks like it's being destroyed by silver, but I'm not buying that. The value of silver is going up because of its value, not as money now. It is a store of value because it has use. It is useful. It is very useful. It's used in medicine. It is used in technology. It is used in transportation. It is used in military weapons. It is used in energy creation, both solar panels and nuclear power plants. And guess what? There's not enough of it. They've been in a huge mining deficit for over 5 years. Over 5 years. If they want to find more silver, they better go out and find it. They better explore it. They better fund the fuck out of it. And they better get everyone out of the fucking way and then build those plants. They're already looking at 5 to 10 years with everything expedited before you extract a single motherfucking ounce. And there's a lot of mines that are mined out. In other words, the ore grade or quality of the ore. In other words, there's not enough ounces of silver in a ton of ore that can be processed economically, right? When silver's been held down below $20 for decades and then held below $30 for the last decade. If they're only going to get $100, if it costs them in labor, fuel, energy, permits, taxes, and all this shit, if it costs them $200 an ounce just to get it out of the ground, they can't pull silver out of the ground until silver's $210 an ounce. Then they'll go back to those old washed up mines, spend all the money reopening them, retest them to see what is there, how much it's going to cost, how much they're going to make, and then they could even expedite those mines. It's still going to take 5 to 10 fucking years. But they've got to bring the silver price way up to get there. Hang on to your hats, folks. This world, we're going to do all of that while putting up with these fucking people in Minnesota and New York and Washington and LA and San Francisco and Dallas, fucking Baltimore and Pittsburgh and DC, right? Well, the country's tearing itself to pieces because foreign interests want our country destroyed. They want white people replaced. They want all the good black, Hispanic, and Asian and Indians replaced with Indians from India that are pieces of shit, and Pakistan and every fucking worthless third world shithole. They want us to fix mining while they're doing all that to you, subjecting us to SHTF, left and right, fucking civil war, partisan conflict. Are you prepared? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. By the way, Michelle Obama is complaining that people know best. They know her best. People know her as being Barack Obama's wife. Why? What else should we know her for? What, this ugly bitch? What else should we know her for other than being Barack Obama's masculine-looking wife? I mean, she is a racist piece of shit. Out of her own lips. She is a Sasquatch impersonator. She makes Chewbacca look like someone you might want to date. All right, let's continue. Ooh, man, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? And it's Dan the Man Erickson with a $10 super chat. And he says, can't do you a shot of scotch because my 86-year-old mom needs extra money each month. Last time I had too many straight shots was at a bachelor party 4 years ago. Had a hangover for 2 days. I have one particular advantage. Much like Wesley the Dread Pirate Wobblers, who built up his immunity to iocane powder, I've drank so much scotch that I built my immunity up, and I can have many, many, many shots and still function. Unless I'm not feeling so good. But I'll tell you what, Big Dan. I'll tell you what. You have done a lot of super chat donations for a long time. And I could use, let's do a bourbon whiskey. Normally, a $100 shot. But Big Dan, I think the aggregate amount of your support has done just that. And I want to thank you and everyone. Because not everyone can afford a $50 shot. Not everyone can afford a $100 shot. But many of you come here and you support the channel. And from the heart, without you guys and everyone showing up and everyone sharing the internet address and everyone subscribing and everyone thumbs upping, without all of your efforts, this show doesn't exist. It doesn't fucking matter. Who the hell am I? I would just be some little guy buried underground with all his bullets, beans, and Band-Aids, waiting for shit to hit the fan so I can go out and make a difference in my neighborhood. So thanks to all of you. Bourbon is different than scotch. It's different than scotch. Mighty tasty. Thank you, sir. And yes, Michelle Obama makes Chewbacca look dateable. Very good. Woo! Okay, man. We're at 1 hour and 43 minutes. And Big Dan the Man is back again with a $10 super chat. There we go. There we are. And man just slammed something there and got him on camera. That was he put down a shot. Dan says, a word of advice for the younger listeners of your show. Never give up your pew-pews, or the communists, which already are in our country, will go total takeover. We are the last country armed heavily. Us. We're the last country that is armed heavily. And the United States of America has always been heavily armed. Initially by wealthy people during the revolution. And then by our national allies like France supported us. But ever since we got on our own feet as a country, Americans have made sure that our Second Amendment is well supported with lots of powder and ball, and then, flint. Oh, and then, ball and cap, and then cartridges. Here we are, folks. Now, with respect to the communists, in the state of Washington, Dan, and this means you, I believe I saw an article today that talked about a member of the government who is a convicted felon who apparently somehow has guns, and video of her at a gun range shooting guns. all the while wanting to disarm you and me and all of us. Understand, folks, communists think they should have guns. And they are more and more buying more. And they are, as communists, more and more going and training with guns. And they are more and more bringing their guns out in public. In Minneapolis, they're walking down the streets with ARs. That's right. Democrat communist pieces of shit are in the streets of Minnesota saying they're going to shoot immigrations and customs enforcement officers. And lo and behold, a couple of days ago, some jackass who's a fucking nurse shows up, wants to help somebody by interfering with the police, gets into a verbal altercation. It quickly accelerates to physical confrontation. The guy tries pulling his gun, according to the experts who were there with body cams and people filming. I guess the guy's tried grabbing his pistol. You're not allowed to do that in front of cops because you have now become a violent, deadly threat. He may have shot himself. Anyways, with respect to this idiot, he proved to us that the communist pieces of shit don't hate guns. They love guns, and they're going to use guns, and they're getting guns. But as I said, communist morons are no match for actual sportsmen that know how to handle guns and use them at range, as well as active and veteran military who are not going to tolerate their communist shit. Now, I do know there are communists in the military right now. I've met communist veterans. Disgusting. And every communist I've met, the three that admitted they were communists, said they have guns and we shouldn't. They can be trusted, but we can't. You and I, we can't be trusted with guns, but they have guns. One particular communist pulled out his gun on an unarmed family member of mine and pointed it at his face. Sadly, unfortunately, that guy was not arrested because somehow it was de-escalated. But that communist, he's going to pay a price for that. He's going to pay a fucking price for that shit. Trust me. There's going to be a fucking hell to pay for that one when he least expects it. Communism, my friends, should not be rewarded with complacency, indifference. No. Communism should have your full and direct attention. It is a tool of, well, a system created by Karl Marx, a racist piece of shit who loves the Talmud. Communism is a device used to destroy nations, to subvert them, to subdue them, to bring them under the control of evil parasitic bastards. And you and I are the ones who will pay the price if we allow it. God bless America. God bless the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, which is law. It's organic law. It's real law. It exists and it's viable and it stands today. It's alive. You hear that, Amy Comey Barrett? The Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are law. Fucking idiots in Washington, I tell you. They're fucking liars. Don't believe a liar, folks. Never believe a liar. Even if they're telling the truth, there's a reason they do it. It's to subvert you. Let's do this. Ooh, man, who's next? We're at an hour and 50 minutes, and it's Blue Cord Devil with a $50 super chat. He says, hey, I'm going to test your alcohol tolerance. Right? Alcohol tolerance test. Okie dokie. We're going to see if we can ruin John's Monday, right? Here we go. You guys know that if you get me too fucking sauced, I'll pull the plug on the show. I've got to live. Anyways, here's to you, Blue Cord. God bless you, man. Semper Fi. You're a good man and a great supporter of the channel, Blue Cord. Gotta love scotch. Woo! All right, doing shots with you guys on a Sunday night. That's how I like to kick my week off. I don't know how we got into that. I know we needed support. I know that that we got defunded by YouTube and Patreon. We got defunded. So you guys literally gorilla fund the channel. Woo! All right. Thank you, Blue Cord. Ooh, man, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We're closing in on 2 hours. But I tell you, oh, shit. Yankee Watchdog steps in with a $50 super chat. Thank you, Ooman. Well, here we go. Right? Well, also, John weighs 272 pounds, according to the physician, because I had to go see a physician because of my shoulder and rib injury, which, by the way, I'm on methylprednisone, which is a steroid that reduces inflammation so I can actually lift my arms and ribs. And if anyone wanted to find me on the street and beat my ass, well, you missed your chance. Okay, Yankee, thank you, brother, for the great support. There's so many of you that are here so often, Cottage Farm, Robin, Bonnie Blue. There's so many of you. Now I can't think. Hello Kitty or Special Kitty or Soft Kitty. There's some kind of kitty out there. Anyways, Yankee, I'm buying time by blabbing, But here we go. Oh, yeah. Woo. And then there's always Nikki, troublemaker Nikki out there. Oh, whew. Feeling it good. All right, Mr. Ooman, I've got a bunch of stories here. I've got some stories here. SHTF, are you prepared? Over 700, at the time that this news article came out several hours ago, over 700,000 people are blacked out. Are blacked out because heavy snow and ice storms are just battering the United States. 24 states have declared a state of emergency. I know we have all these new people in America that love America and they'd love to help. Maybe all these illegals and Somalians and all the gangland trash. Maybe they're going to help dig out driveways, deliver food, fuel, take care of us, right? They're so grateful for America that they're going to help us out in our time of need because 24 states have called an emergency. Don't count on it. These illegals are not here to help us. They're not fucking grateful. They're here to conquer America. They say so themselves, especially the loud-ass Muslim imams. They're stupid enough to say it out loud. They're here to fuck us over. Don't worry, over in Israel, they say similar things. They use the black man to fight the white man. They use the Muslim to fight the Christian. They use the Democrats to fight the Republicans. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. A house divided will not stand. Folks, it's up to you. Share the internet address. Thumbs up the video. You cannot comment unless you are a subscriber for 5 minutes or more. Anyways, 153. And I want to give some serious advice. Do not bring a sidearm to a violent protest, please. Do not pull that weapon out of your belt at a protest with cops, please. Do not discharge your firearm while in a physical confrontation with the police, please. And by the way, the border commander for, is it Border Patrol? No, Department of Homeland Security, Greg Bovino, basically just shot back at the CNN idiot Dana Bash because she's defending the ICE shooter in Minneapolis. Yeah, the left-wing violent nurse who was the shooter in Minneapolis and accused Greg Bovino of victim blaming. In other words, blaming the victim for what happened. Well, I think she's actually right in this case. It's his fucking fault. You don't bring a weapon. And I love fucking Kash Patel. That dumb cocksucker, he actually showed up on the news to say, oh, you don't bring a gun. And he went down the list of left-wing Democrat talking points anti-gun. High-capacity magazines, concealed weapon, all bad. No. Those aren't bad. What's bad is the mentality of the Democrats, the communists, Antifa, the BLMers. They're the problem. CNN is responsible. Tim Walz is responsible. Mayor shit-stained butt plug of Minneapolis, they're all responsible for encouraging and inciting violence against Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Department of Homeland Security, Border Patrol, all of them. All right. I got that last shot under control now. Got it under control. Mr. Uman, we have just a few minutes left. I've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 more topics, and here's Blue Cord Devil. I tell you, man, you got me. Holy cow. Gonna test my immunity. I am the Dread Pirate Roberts, right? Here we go. Another scotch. Well, sometime this week, this bottle is toast, and I'll be replacing it with another bottle. It is currently my favorite scotch. Blue Cord Devil, Semper Fi. I'm going to drink this. No, I'm going to read your comments first. Peace and prayers, John, Jolene, Uman, and everyone else. Watch your 6. Stay calm, stay armed. To everyone in this storm, stay safe and warm. Check on any elder neighbors. My sister is taking good care of my mother in the Great White North. Heidi. And even as far as the Great South, it's white. That's right. We got snow and ice storms down with Roughneck Redneck and Darcy T and Chin Music and everywhere in between from coast to coast. God bless you all. Stay prepared. Stay alert. Understand the enemy never quits. God bless you, Blue Cord Devil. I'm sorry for your losses and grateful for your camaraderie and your support. Oh, yeah. Going to be feeling that. Okay. I got some facts for you guys. Facts. Stay tuned on this one as the week progresses. Trump says fraud in Minneapolis may exceed $100 billion. That's just Minneapolis. Minneapolis. It's not as unpopulated as Montana or North Dakota. It's not as unpopulated as, pick any of your rural states, Utah, Idaho, New Mexico. It's not like, well, California, Texas, Illinois, New York, Florida. If Minneapolis, with just Minneapolis and St. Paul as its cities, has exceeded $100 billion, how many more hundreds of billions of dollars are all the other states? Remember, Ohio, Pennsylvania, huge swing states, right, with big populations that we always talk about at election time. Always. The entire Eastern Seaboard. Millions and millions of people in every big metropolis. Any city that has a sports team, millions of people in the city and the suburbs. And this bullshit, this fraud from these foreigners and also domestic fraudsters. Here's what Trump says, quote, sadly, whatever numbers we find, California and other Democrat-run states will be worse. And sadly, folks, Trump is doing exactly jack shit. Bimbo Bondi is doing jack shit. Goober Cash Patel is doing jack shit. Ultimately, it's going to be up to us, the people, to rise up and put these commies in place. to arrest the powerful in government, in corporations, as well as down the street and restore sanity. Did you know that over in Europe, the people are going around and rounding up these illegals themselves, dragging them out of homes and basements and attics, wherever they're hiding, so they'll be deported? I'm prepared mentally for that time, and it's coming, folks. No more taxes for the feds. I'm all for that. No more taxes for the states. Fuck them if they're screwing us over. They spend our money like whores on a weekend pass on Rodeo Drive or Saks Fifth Avenue or the Golden fucking Mile or whatever. That's what they are. They're fucking whores. Every government official, whore. Absolute whore. And speaking of whores, I've got something else I want to share with you. Where is it? Where is it? That idiot, Jasmine Eyelashes whore, whatever the fuck her name is. She is calling for more violence. Absolutely calling for more violence. The police chief in Minneapolis claims it doesn't matter if the investigation proves that the ICE shooting was legally justified. Folks, law enforcement's now politicized. Or they too are completely retarded. Which is it? Is law enforcement politicized? Or are they retarded? Or both? Literally, right? They said it doesn't matter if it's justified. Brian O'Hara is the chief police of Minneapolis. He said it doesn't matter if this ridiculous, violent left-winger brought a gun. He was interviewed by Margaret Brennan of CBS. And he said, the chief of police, that 37-year-old Alex Pretty, the murder, his death was unnecessary because he was merely exercising his Second Amendment rights. Yeah. Quote, it appears that he was present, exercising his First Amendment right to record law enforcement activity. This police chief is a fucking liar or a dunderhead. One cannot engage in interfering with a police action, get into a physical confrontation with the same police, and then try and pull a gun on the police. That is not the Second Amendment. It says the right to keep and bear arms. It doesn't say you have the right to keep and bear and brandish arms at police while fighting with them over them doing their fucking jobs. The idiot, the 37-year-old idiot who's now dead, discharged his weapon like an idiot, tried to pull it. Cops backed away, and one cop definitely saw what the moronic nurse was doing. They all heard his shot go off, and he defended himself. He defended the other police and others from a potential gun battle that could have ensued. These gun battles, folks, I believe are going to happen. It is coming. There are going to be purges in America because of Democrats and communists and pieces of shit. Chance favors the prepared mind. Thank you all for the great support. Soft Kitty says right now he floating. That's kind of the feeling. Thank you, Soft Kitty. I think Soft Kitty does super chats also. Everyone who does super chats, everyone who does comments, everyone who's a subscriber, everyone who does thumbs up and shares, thank you to each and every one of you. God bless you. This is America. Understand your Constitution. Know your rights. Understand the enemy and what they're trying to do. Don't be weak. Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated. Stand up for your rights. Fight for America like it could be destroyed, because that's what they are doing. Always faithful. Semper Fidelis. God bless America.